This is Detroit's Red Zone.
The Red Zone is the area where the 7 Mile Bloods operate. It's one of the most dangerous zip codes in America.
You got mothers that don't care about their kids. You got fathers that's not there. In these split seconds, something bad can happen.
What do we want? Peace! What do we want?
Downtown Detroit is experiencing a renaissance.
But in this very city, just miles from here, there are thousands of people living in poverty, dealing with violent neighborhoods so bad that they're afraid to leave their house.
Dhoruba Diallo is a community activist in Detroit. His organization, Black Man Stand, aims to disrupt violence in the city.
We can't focus on money, we can't focus on community, we can't focus on excelling at nothing if we don't put the pistols down and invest in peace.
You can put stiffer gun penalties out here, but if you don't attack the actual problem, that's not gonna stop the killing. You attack any other issue aggressively, and so why not attack this issue? And one of the biggest reasons is because it doesn't play any other community but the urban community.
I'm pretty sure everybody out here has lost somebody to these streets. Whether it be east, west, north, south, it don't matter.
One of the big talks right now is reparations. And to me, if you just dropped a bunch of money into a war zone, it's gonna make it a worse war zone. You want to vote? Come into the hood, listen to what we gotta say.
Don't it feel good to hear no gunshots? No sirens? No police walking up on us?
Yes, sir.
I know it feels good to me.
What are we doing here right now?
We are conducting Peace in the Zone. It's an event that we put together to bring two different sides or two different groups from the Red Zone together.
So the Red Zone is the area where the 7 Mile Bloods operate. It's one of the most dangerous zip codes in America.
He's convinced rival gang members of the Bloods to come together.
The two sides didn't want to meet at first. They was like, nah, I don't mess around with them. We appreciate what you're trying to do. But as we kept talking, they were like, well, maybe we should try this to see how it works. It's unheard of because people just don't reconcile.
Whole streets! Come on, let's get it.
Other factions in that area have reached out to the OGs in that hood and was like, maybe we can do something.
Y'all in the heart of the Red Zone.
Jermaine is a member of the Bloods.
Man, not even 6 months ago, bro, I was talking about busting your head open for a bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wake up one morning, bro, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, this shit ain't right no more.
I can't do this anymore.
You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of it. Like my brother said, I'm tired.
So there were guys who typically you'd be beefing with that you saw today and celebrated with.
Yeah.
What was that like?
At first it was a little weird, but once they felt that energy, man, they felt that positive vibe, you feel me? You can't help but to attract to it.
Whole streets! Whole streets!
They cut the beef, and that's what this shit is about. Cutting the beef. Senseless beef. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in hell that all these different bloods, all these different gangs should not be with each other.
Tell me about what it was like growing up here.
It wasn't peaches and cream at all. I had a mother and a father that was drug addicts. I found love in the streets. That's why I became a blood.
I think there are gonna be some people watching this who don't understand what it's like to grow up here, and they don't understand why you would decide to become a blood. What would you want to say to them?
It's a jungle, and we forced to live in this jungle. And we not savages. We made to be savages. We forced to be savages because of the circumstances that we in. They not doing nothing with our community. Look at it, bro. Like, don't this look like a jungle to you?
Hey man, we done came a long way, man. It's a beautiful thing to see shit evolve and change like this, man. See everybody come together. You know what I'm saying? It's a wonderful thing, baby.
Life in Detroit has been difficult for decades, and there's much more than just one reason why. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled this city. Abandoned houses can be found all over. There's endemic racial segregation. The public school system has lost crucial funding. But worst of all, gun violence plagues this community on a near daily basis.
It all intersects. But at the end of the day, it's hard to focus on the other stuff when you're ducking bullets or you worried about your child not being able to walk to school. It's definitely an everyday thing. It's gotten to the point where people have gotten used to it, where you hear gunshots and instead of ducking or running, you were trying to identify what kind of gun it is. That's not normal. It's almost like we live in a war zone. And when people hear about the violence, they Just like, oh, another shooting, another shooting.
It's that common.
It's that common. Like, whenever my kids are out of my sight, I'm terrified. A stray bullet can come through the house at any moment.
It's been a particularly violent summer here. 8 people were killed and 11 injured in shootings during Memorial Day weekend alone.
Summer in Detroit, wow. You know, we go through 4 seasons, so like, oh, the summer's here, you know, good. But then it's like, the summer's here, damn. The shootings increase and the killings increase because people are outside.
Dhoruba is attending a meeting of Force Detroit. Their goal is to connect with people before they commit a crime. According to a report compiled by Force, each shooting death in Detroit costs an estimated $1.6 million.
So we have strategies for peace that are much cheaper but require investment in people. The same people that you might not want to have conversations with.
The first thing we have to do, like I said, is change the mentality. And if you can show them different, then they'll be different.
In my opinion, if we can all come together every weekend and we can become familiar with each other's faces and things like that, you're not gonna let something happen to them or you're not gonna do something to that person, ideally, right?
And I think that this is so important for us to continue to get out there and let people know we're here to create peace. And there are resources available to help you do the same.
It's so much senseless violence in this city daily. It's just swept under the rug. I'm sorry, but it's another dead. It's okay. Let them keep killing each other. One less on the street. Because we're all animals in their eyes.
We can't keep looking to outside sources because nobody's coming to save us but us.
This work is personal for Dhoruba. Just last year, his brother was shot and killed in a robbery.
I was the last person to see him alive, maybe 10 minutes before. He was shot twice in his head, once in his neck, twice in his chest. Pushed out of the car like a piece of meat, and he wasn't a piece of meat. He was my only brother. I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through, like watching my mom just curled up on the floor, screaming in agony, and there was nothing I could do.
So what's this over here?
These are lots that we acquired. We want to do after-school programming. We want to do summer programming to try to give these kids something to do. And when you have a brick and mortar, you can bring people inside of those doors and then you can start to try to, you know, corral them, galvanize them, get them introduced to certain resources, which brings the younger kids up correctly so you don't have to fix them when they become adults, right. Once they become damaged. If you can get them before they get damaged, then you can kind of change the culture, so to speak.
And do you have a name for the house?
It's just gonna be called Black Man Stand Village. Black Man Stand Village.
What do you want? Peace. Our street.
Our street. Ain't nobody coming to save us. Ain't nobody coming to help us. We gotta come together, get together, stay together, go after the resources, and fix it right here.